latest and greatest movie reviews and interviews. This is your entertainment ticket. YEticket.com.
Hey, this is Al McGee. I'm here at the Miami International Film Festival. I'm getting ready to talk to John Stockwell. He's a director, but also an actor. Ooh, and you're going to be surprised at some of the movies he acted in. But here we're going to talk about his new film, Kid Cannabis. Hey, John, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, Kid Cannabis, this is based on an article by Mark Bonelli. How did you get the idea to shoot this film? Did you get it from Mark, or did you read the article first?
I read the article. I optioned the article. I took it to HBO Films initially, and I also optioned an article from Kevin Taylor, who had actually met the guys and met Nate Norman, the character who the movie centered around.
Oh yeah.
And I went up to Idaho, where the story took place, and I met his stripper girlfriend. She wanted me to give her $100,000 to get to talk to Nate. I met his lawyer. He wanted couple $100,000. I went to the FBI agent who arrested him, and he said, look, let's just go to Burger King, get him a burger, and we'll go to the prison, and if you have food, he'll talk to you, and he did. So it was an amazing story. I just loved the idea of the kind of Horatio Alger, a kid who was making $8 an hour delivering pizza, going to making $68 million a year delivering weed. I thought it was an interesting setup for a movie.
In fact, I enjoyed the character Nate Norman, but Jonathan Daniel Brown, he played Nate. What did you see in him to play the lead role?
Jonathan I had seen him in Project X, and he has unlike a lot of Hollywood or film actors who are actually, pretty good looking and they work hard to gain weight or to wear glasses. Jonathan's an awkward looking guy, which was what Nate was. So when we really talk about a guy that, before he got his success and wealth and notoriety, he couldn't get the girl. He blended into the wallpaper. That's Jonathan, and he's actually really funny and awkward and cool, and he likes. He had no problem playing this character. He's a fan of weed, so he embraced that, all aspects of it.
So did he remind you also of Nate, the real person that he was portraying?
Yeah, he's not exactly. Well, Nate, when I met him, had been in prison for over 7-8 years. So he had, as most people do when they go to prison, they get in really good shape. They're doing a lot of weights. They don't get the kind of food that they got on the outside. So Nate in prison had gotten a lot. He had lost a lot of weight, but yes, I think Jonathan reminds me of Nate as he was when this operation was really happening.
Wow. Well, that's one thing I like about the story. Nate was very smart, but the crew he put together, his friends, I didn't like them at all, but I love the actors that you had. For example, Kenny Wormel as Topher.
Yeah, Kenny's great. Kenny, I'd sort of thought of him as a dancer because he was the lead in Footloose, and he has a dancing background. But he's the real deal, and he came in. He had an authenticity. He played off Jonathan really well, and again. He was just he understood the pot culture. He was excited to do the movie. What I like about the story is the kids, the real characters, Nate and his friends. They're kind of they're average guys. They're goofballs.
Exactly.
They're high school dropouts. They're minimum wage guys. They're not and they never. They never start toting Uzis. They're not flying choppers into Colombia. They're doing a very simple thing, which is just putting on backpacks and running pot across from Canada. Doing the 8-mile sprint, and it transformed these kids. They got more money than they could ever imagine or know what to do with, and they were really stupid about it, which I also
they sure were. And then whoever think you can get great pot from Canada?
Oh no, Canada's always been known, especially British Columbia, for having quality.
I never smoked any from Canada.
Really? You might have. You might not just know it. I mean, if you're down here in Miami, you're probably not getting your weed from Canada. It's coming from.
Really?
It's coming from the South, but up in the Pacific Northwest, where where Nate was. He was in Idaho. We shot the movie in Canada. It's strange because Canada, pot's not legal. They don't even have traditional medical dispensaries, but it's never the marijuana laws for the most part are not enforced.
Let's talk about another actor you have in the film. One of my favorite actors, Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman was. We were really lucky to get him. He came up to Victoria, to Vancouver Island, where we were shooting. He had this idea. He wanted to play the role like a pretty well-known Israeli film producer, Avi Lerner. And Avi used to have, I think, a big afro, and he has a very specific accent. And I said, okay, I can deal with I like the accent idea, but I want people to know it's Ron Perlman because you have such a great face, and
exactly.
I don't want to put you in a Halloween outfit. He's great. He's the character that he's based on. He was like, can I meet him? Can I meet him? I said, no. He wouldn't talk to me. He never went to prison. He never was busted. He's a scary guy. You don't want to meet him.
No, really? Well, I'm not worried about that. Look at me.
He was the one guy. Nate is doing the final year of a 12-year sentence, and the feds told him if he rolled on Barry Lerner, not his real name, he could get his sentence cut in half at least, and Nate chose not to.
Yeah, but in the film, Barry's really his real true friend. I mean, he treated him as he was, and didn't do anything special, but treated him, hey, respect and everything like that.
That's true, and but how many people in the drug business, in the criminal world, when they get busted, they roll on all their friends, no matter what. They roll on their wives, they roll on their siblings. So you're right. Some of it was an honest respect and appreciation for the way he was treated, and a lot of it was fear.
Hey, let's talk about you a little bit. You're an actor. You've been in Top Gun, Christine, Eddie and the Cruisers, and I saw on IMDb you're also coming out as an actor in another film. So, what do you like? You like behind or in front of the camera?
Behind or in front of the camera. I definitely always planned to be behind the camera, and I went into acting thinking it was the best way to get onto a movie set and learn, and not be able to, and not in a situation where you couldn't be kicked off, because I would watch PAs, and if they asked too many questions or got too intrusive, like the right. DP or the director was like, get out of here. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna be an actor, and I'm gonna learn. And I learned from John Carpenter and from Tony Scott and from Jonathan Demme, and from some not as talented directors. So I learned what I thought worked for me and what didn't work. And I think the trickiest thing for directors is working with actors in some way. You could go to film school, you can learn about cinematography and storytelling even, but if you don't have a rapport with your actors, or you don't understand the acting process, it can be tricky.
Yeah, that's what I hear about a lot of great directors, that they have a great rapport with their actors and things like that.
And you hear a lot, and I learned quite quickly that a lot of great directors, or a lot of great actor directors, learn to stay away or stay out of the process. You always hear about Woody Allen, he says nothing. Even the Coen brothers, they say nothing. And on my first film, it was my first film, but I was working with Kirsten Dunst on Crazy Beautiful, and I was starting to talk to her about an upcoming scene. She's like, John, please, just let me do it. Don't say anything. And if you want to give me notes afterwards, that'd be great, because I'm so tired of directors just talking. And I was like, great, let's do it. Let's not rehearse. Let's let you do it. And she did an amazing reading in a way that I would have never directed. And so I was so happy, because if I had said, here's how I imagine it unfolding, she would have done it that way, because I would have directed her to do it that way. So it was always exciting to see what actors, that's what you really learn, is like, let's see what the actors can bring to the table before you start shaping or molding them.
Well, John, unfortunately our time is up.
Right.
But man, it's great listening to you, and it's great meeting you. And Kid Cannabis is coming out soon. I saw it already. I enjoyed it. I kind of said to myself, gee, how come I didn't think of that when I was in high school? Thank you, John. I really appreciate it.
You are watching YETicket.com with Al McGee, movie reviews and interviews. This is YETicket.com. YETicket.com, your entertainment ticket.
We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. 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 We are your entertainment ticket, that's right. YETicket.com. YETicket.com.